If you are a Tower of God fan, then you don't wanna miss a single second of this video, because today we are going to discuss a really important aspect of Tower of God that you most probably missed. In 1948, the unified Korean peninsula got divided into two individual political entities, North Korea in the north and South Korea in the south. With a total area of 100,032 square kilometers, South Korea became the place of birth for many internet sensations like BTS, Solo Leveling, and of course, Tower of God. Lee Jong-hoo, born in 1986, majored in visual arts on a university level and later undertook South Korea's mandatory military service. There he met Sun In. During this period, together with his friend Jong, drew 10 books worth of practice cartoons, which formed the backbone of Tower of God that he later started to create for the internet under the pen name SIU, Slave in Utero. Tower of God officially began in 2010 and is written and drawn by SIU. The series follows a young boy named 25th Ban who had spent most of his life trapped in a mysterious underground tunnel with only his close friend Rachel to keep him company. When suddenly Rachel enters the tower, Ban, determined to be reunited with his friend, Bam also enters the tower. The tower is filled with magical energy called Shinsu, as well as a variety of different species, peoples, and groups. Along the way, Bam forms a team to make his way to the top of the tower and find Rachel. These include Khun Agero Aganis, a member of the prestigious 10 great families who accompanies Bam simply because he found him interesting, and Rak Vraitraiser, a gigantic spear-throwing man with reptilian features. Aren't these some of the most interesting people you have ever heard a team about? As the story progresses, the reader gradually explores the lore, history, and motivations of important characters and factions that try to change the fate of the tower. Mysteries are gradually unveiled and added as the readers learn about struggles and triumphs of the inhabitants of the tower. This is a really popular series with an amazing storyline, and the anime streaming giant Crunchyroll decided to give this amazing story its own life by adapting it into an anime, which soon started airing in spring of 2020 as a Crunchyroll original show. If this anime was done right, it could have opened and extended the boundaries of anime to many more generations to come. But after catching up to the anime's first 3 episodes, I think something major has gone wrong, because the anime failed to adapt the beauty of the show, which made it so fascinating. Just to make the things a bit clearer, I started reading the source material after watching the anime. So that's that. So instead of watching the first episode when it initially came out, I waited for a whole another week before catching up to the series. On April 8th, 2020, I sat down to watch the anime, which had so much hype surrounding it, known as Tower of God, also known as Kaminoto. And after catching up to the both of the episodes, I said to myself, okay, I get it, but what's the catch? Something felt really off while watching this anime. Something was definitely wrong with it, but I wasn't able to pinpoint what exactly it was. So, as a curious child I am, I decided to give the source material a look and ended up binging the whole series in the span of next week. But reading the source material gave me the idea of what exactly was wrong with the adaptation. The anime adaptation was extremely rushed. The story was rushing like crazy, like there was no tomorrow. The first episode of the anime adapted 8 manhwa chapters. The second episode of the anime adapted next 4, and the third episode adapted 5 chapters. So that doesn't seem much when compared to its manga alternative. But each chapter of Tower of God has around 60 pages, where each page amounts to a different scene. So altogether, that means one episode of Tower of God anime is adapting around 480 pages from the manga, and that means 480 different scenes are adapted into 18 to 20 minute episodes. And I believe that's a lot. I also realized that anime was skipping some of the panels of the manga just to make up for the time difference. In the second chapter, where the Princess Yuri Zahar speaks of sexism regarding the sword Black March, which in itself doesn't have a strong purpose, but it helps to build up the character of the princess. Also, at the start, where Princess practically forces her guide to give Mom a first-rate pocket, also threatens the selector Hedin, which builds up her authority in the tower, which is a major and I mean a major part of her character, which is totally missing in the anime. Even after being rushed to its last point, the anime still fails to adapt the beauty of the show. I am not asking for much, but I am asking for a good adaptation, for a good story. I know the team behind the anime must be working hard to make a good show out of it, but it feels like the team working on this show isn't putting their hearts into it, because I don't see an ounce of beauty that made the original material so good. What this series is lacking is, I think, the love from its anime creators. I personally think that the third episode was the weakest part of the series up until this point. Personally, I think Room of Test was a whole episode in itself, which literally got 5 to 7 minutes of screen time. Out of the 5 chapters which were adapted into the third episode, almost 1.5 chapters is spent with Khun thinking on how to solve the test, which increases the worth of the character who ends up solving the test after him in just a couple of seconds because of their high intelligence. And that really builds up the side characters, which I don't see anime doing. Later in the series, this character becomes an important part of the cast that made me value and respect this character was this achievement on the floor of test. It was really a memorable moment in the manhwa where the anime really pugged it up. In the span of next 400 chapters that I read, I haven't came across a single wow moment for this character other than this. So I really felt bad watching the anime. There are various such moments in the series which you can really enjoy in its source material, but you can't even appreciate them in its anime counterpart. I really think that anime has huge pacing problems and it should really fix it in the upcoming episodes. Maybe the anime is trying to adapt the whole first season of the manhwa into its first season. But that's a really bad idea because the first season of its original source material has around 80 chapters, which is too much material to cover in just a span of 13 episodes. It will eventually miss out some important character movements, and because of that, it will most probably lose some of its potential fans that I really don't want to happen. The only thing I can hope is that it will eventually get better because currently anime has huge pacing problems, almost similar to the ending of Erased or Charlotte or even Angel Beats. I just hope that Tower of God doesn't become the next Tokyo Ghoul of the anime community because that will be really sad to watch. Hey everybody, I really am hoping that you will help me spread the word. Here at Nerd's Perspective, we take a different look at things that may seem normal. Subscribe. And I'll see you in my this video. So come meet me there.